Which shoe is best for you? So as a physical therapist, a lot of people always ask me what type of shoes I wear, and I always recommend a wide toe box shoe. So one way that you can know if your shoe is a wide toe box shoe is take out the insole of your shoe. If it comes out, sometimes they're glued in, and put that foot down in where it's supposed to in the heel, and then try to spread your toes out as much as you can, just like this. If you can get some of your toes outside of the insole, then you know that that shoe, when it's on, is going to be squishing your foot. So looking at this Adidas shoe here, as I spread my toes out, I can get part of my toe off of the insole. That means when I'm putting my shoes on, it's going to squish my toes in like that, trying to conform my toes to be like that, eventually causing bunions and not allowing a lot of these feet muscles and around my toes to be able to work and help with my balance. So if possible, trying to get a wide toe box shoe so that you can allow all those little feet muscles to work. Secondly, not just a wide toe box shoe, but for a lot of us, I don't recommend this for necessarily everyone. Wide toe box, I will recommend for everybody, but having a shoe that's a zero drop shoe. So you won't be able to tell if it's a zero drop shoe unless they advertise it or unless you go on their website, because it's not like you can actually just see it and that this is just the same distance from the ground as this is. So what a zero drop shoe is that the distance from the heel to the ground and from the toes to the ground is the same. So you're not in a little bit of a high heel. Most shoes on the market today, most typical shoes, have their heel a little bit higher than the toes. So you're in a slight elevated heel. And what that does over time is it shortens this Achilles and it makes you puts you in like a little bit of a position like this, which is more comfortable for a lot of us because we already have tight ankles, but it's just feeding into the problem long term. So short term, it does create some slack on the Achilles, but long term, it's creating tightness in the Achilles and not allowing that foot to have good mobility. So again, that's something you want to check with your physical therapist or doctor or podiatrist about to make sure that if you want to go straight to a zero drop shoe, it's going to take some adjusting, but wide toe box is the way to go. So the other thing that you want to think about is it a neutral shoe, a motion control shoe, or a stability shoe? So stability and motion control shoes have more arch support, which sounds great, right? But the bad thing about an arch support is it's kind of like using crutches or wearing a brace. It creates more weakness in the muscles that would be having to work if you didn't have that support. Now, immediately that's going to help. That's going to make it feel better, and that probably is not worth trying to fix for a lot of people, especially if you're older and your foot's just kind of like, you don't feel like going through the trouble of trying to strengthen everything. But for somebody like an athlete or somebody that's willing to kind of work on it, on their strength of their feet, strengthening their feet and getting into a neutral shoe as the goal is going to be a better thing to try to do. So working on strengthening the foot with therapy exercises and going barefoot, but whenever you can think about activating these muscles in your feet and creating an arch. So you can go look at different exercises that we have on our website and on our YouTube channel to figure out what those are, or see a physical therapist on that. So if your foot is just super flat and you have no control of that arch, a motion control shoe has a lot more stability. So a lot of times when you look at motion controlled shoes, they have a little bit thicker and denser foam right here around the insole, or around the arch, and you can notice that it's really stiff. So like if I push on that, it's really stiff, or sometimes they have some extra plastic here and it doesn't allow that arch to collapse in. Now again, that's good and it's going to help you have a better arch control like while you're wearing the shoe, but over a long period of time, it's going to make those feet muscles actually weaker and not forcing them to work. So what I tell people is wear that when you don't feel like you can necessarily think about controlling that, but be on a plan of trying to strengthen the arch in your foot, strengthen the feet muscles in your foot, so that you can get eventually to something that's less supportive and closer to what we are doing in a natural, closer to what we would do if we're barefoot. So something that doesn't provide quite as much arch support, so that you're not relying on that crutch of having arch support every time. And when you go barefoot, you're not having major pain. So to recap, wide toe box is a must, zero drop shoe is a probably, and motion control, neutral, or stability shoe, you need to talk to your therapist and kind of evaluate that, what's best for you. So neutral is the goal, but stability and motion control are probably good for a lot of folks initially just to kind of make them feel better immediately. So if you have any other questions about shoes or feet or have any suggestions about what you want me as a physical therapist to teach you about, put them in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe. We'll see you later.